With us here today are Ms. Carly Waddell, an environmentalist who is focusing on water sustainability, and Ms. Alex Mickle, who is building her own indoors farming system with the help of Aquaponics. So, starting with Ms. Waddell, what are some of the current issues that we have with water sustainability?
One of the major issues with water sustainability is the fact that developing countries use significantly less clean water than people in developed countries. This is an issue because many of those people contract diseases related to lack of clean water, and people in developed countries pay significant amounts for water when it should be very cheap. One of the main factors that causes this issue is the fact that companies have taken large amounts of fresh water and are selling it for extremely high prices in form of bottled water over in the United States and other developed countries, and they take it from people in developing countries who need it because they don't have access to tap water or running water.
Okay, so then what are some ways that we can do to help with these problems on a day-to-day basis?
A major thing that you can do is aquaponics. Aquaponics helps conserve water because it's using farming in an environmentally friendly way, and you get water without needing to buy food from the grocery store.
So, Ms. Mickle, could you tell us about how aquaponics systems work?
Yes, an aquaponics system is a system where water continuously cycles between fish in a fish tank or a body of water to plants. So the main reason without an aquaponics system people need to filter or change the water in a fish tank is because there's bacteria or fish poop that is in the fish tank. But with aquaponics, what happens is you pump that water up into the plants, and the plants actually use this as a form of minerals and a form of fertilization for it to help the plants grow. And then they naturally filter it, and then it goes back to the fish tank.
Okay, so then how does aquaponics systems help with water sustainability?
Okay, so the main way that we plant and grow our food now is we have plants, we put them in the ground, and then we pour water on it. And the plants only use a small fraction of the water that we pour on it, and the rest of it sinks into the soil, and then it's no longer of use for us. However, aquaponics is made so that you literally don't lose any water. You don't waste it because it's going continuously from a cycle where it puts it into a plant indoors, and all the extra water goes back into the fish tank, and it continues to cycle.
So then what are some other benefits of using an aquaponics system?
So some other benefits is the way that we produce our food right now is extremely harmful. We deforest entire large areas of forests to plant these plants, which ruins the soil because it's not the way it's naturally supposed to be. And then we put GMOs in these plants because we're going to bathe them in these chemicals to protect them from pests and weeds. With aquaponics, it's an indoor controlled system where we don't have the problem of pests or weeds, so we don't need to use any of that. We waste a large amount of food because we're mass producing it. But with aquaponics, we can control how much we make to get the exact amount so that we don't waste as much.
So what are some possible negatives to having an aquaponics system?
To set it up, to get it started, it costs more money because you need a fish tank, you need fish, you need a certain type of soil so that it doesn't get everywhere. However, once it's set up, it's far more manageable with your money and your time because you only have to do that, and then you have to feed the fish, and that's basically it.
So Ms. Mickle, what was your reason for building the aquaponics system?
Because I like gardening, and one of the biggest blocks between wanting to be a gardener and actually gardening is because the plants that you can plant have to be planted during a certain time per se, then it can like frost and then boom, your plant is dead. With aquaponics, since it's indoors, you can control those variables. If we're able to live and coexist with these plants instead of trying to modify their genes and make them obey to everything, we won't be able to continue as a civilization because you're already seeing many effects that this is having, how unhealthy we are, how our food has all these chemicals in their genes, because we see ourselves as not being able to coexist with these plants. But if we're able to have plants indoors with us and outdoors, I think it'll create a mentality which is much more healthy.
So you can do aquaponics even with like a small scale, even at your home with your own aquarium. And so most aquariums have this kind of filter, and instead of having this charcoal like mesh and the sponge behind here, you can pull all of this out, and then you can put a medium of gravel in this little trough, and then hopefully, well, where this tank is, it doesn't get a lot of sun, so like you plant your seeds or you have starts and you put them in the gravel medium here, and all the fish poop gets like lodged and nested in all that gravel, and that becomes like the perfect fertilizer for your whatever you're going to grow out of even this little guy. So it works really, really cool. And these are full spectrum LEDs, which are kind of expensive, but I'll turn it on for you so you can kind of see what they look like. You don't even have to get fancy. Like, you can get this stuff anywhere for free, which is really, really cool.
So what time do you normally give it light? Just like during the...
Right now, we don't do any extra light.
Yeah. Because it's summer.
Ooh, pretty. It usually is, because this thing, I had to like try to rickety this together with some silicone, and the silicone kind of like saturated with water. It didn't work out too good, but I got to re-silicone it, and then it will filter a lot more like it's supposed to. It's been since last fall, before the winter set in and our neighbor's pond froze over. So we've been doing this experiment for probably like 6 or 8 months or somewhere in there. I want to learn how to do a lot of everything and be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, take care of Mother Earth in a better way than we ever have. And I have a lot more passion and compassion for like Mother Earth and everything that's on it, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
It's good.
Biggest challenge that we've come up with so far is like just being creative how to work the filtration systems. If you're not, I didn't want to go buy a whole fancy setup. I'm trying to do things without having to go destroy Mother Earth even more with, you know, buying more plasticky, whatever. I think just being creative is the only thing that will prevent you from wonderful success.
Yeah.
And so like right around the edge here, as you see, we have raspberries, a little bit of blackberries. I tried grafting some grapes in there, and we're gonna plant all the way around this, and eventually it'll just be like a cool, like, yurt
Dome.
covered in awesomeness.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where you can eat, and the chickens will be able to eat some of that too, and the chickens actually keep it, like, the raspberries from spreading like mad, and it's smart business. It's really cool. And we use the chicken poop for the garden, and I've been slowly, like, over the last 3 years trying to get this soil to like come to life, and it's working really good. So we'll have a trough up here, like similar to what we were talking about with the aquarium, where you take the filter out, you fill it with a bunch of gravel, but on a large scale. It'll become self-sufficient where you won't have maintenance on it, because it's like the perfect little biosphere.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're replicating nature.
Mm-hmm.
So nature doesn't have to be pumped with hormones or, you know, like put any chemicals in it. It's
Absolutely.
how it works, you know?
Yeah.
It's saying that, like, how we do make our food, like, you know, the companies like Monsanto. It's really sad.
Monsanto's a swear word. Yeah, you tell them. Yeah, screw you, Monsanto. Oh, yeah, stop it. Stop messing with the small farmers. Yeah, yeah, get riled up. Good. Yeah.
Because if we continue living that either we're fighting against the government, we're fighting against plants and gardening.